What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and Litecoin, take a look at why I believe it's decision time and some areas to watch. Also, don't forget we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free, guys, and let's get on with it. All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, nor is it investment advice. Do your own due diligence. Disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Make sure you read it. This is my opinion, not yours. All right, let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. We're at 55. We raised one since yesterday, so we are in the greedy territory. So does that mean we are going to have a correction? We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at the areas to watch. Also, let's take a quick look at the longs versus shorts on Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance combined. The longs are 65.87%. The shorts are 34.13%. Bitfinex longs are still at 82%. Still crazy high. Let's look at what's going on. If you guys have seen this already, sorry, I just want everybody to be aware of it. If we draw the trend lines for this descent, this does look more like a descending channel now. If I look at it in the monthly and go off of these wicks here and these wicks down here, they do line up. This is just a cloned line from this one here, and in that case we have not broke out yet. This is the monthly though, keep in mind. So if we close the monthly above 92.45 area, 92.50 this month, I would say that is extremely bullish. As you can see, we still have declining volume while within this formation. Let's go into the weekly. So on the weekly, if we draw this as a descending wedge, and we have the three touches, actually four touches on the bottom, three touches on the top, we have broken out if we look at it in the weekly. And if we took a measured move of the wedge, guys, that would be, put this up, the measured move of the wedge would be right around the $12,600, $12,700 area, which would break this trend line I have drawn from the two peaks. I also have this 11,126 there, where it's possible we might see major rejection there if we get up to this point, and I'll show you why. If I take the Fibonacci retracement and go from this swing high to the swing low down here, we'll show you real quick. We'll put it on there. As you can see, we wicked up into the golden pocket area, which is in between the 0.65 and 0.618 right here, and got rejected and came down. Now, if we were to do the same thing here from the swing high to the swing low with the Fibonacci retracement, the 0.618 golden pocket area is going to be around the 11,100. So if we do get up to this point, guys, I would be careful, watch for a rejection. But if we do break through, if we did a measured move of this, if we broke through at that 11,100 area, my target is around 29,000, and that is, could definitely be this year. And I drew this trend line on the bottom from our touches down here, long-term trend line, and just cloned it up here. If we use that to kind of guide us in the time frame, that'd be by around August. Obviously, guys, there's no guarantees there, but I do want to show you this also. If we do get rejection there, we could see something like this. You see, we came down here, came up, came down. If we come up again, that would be extremely tight. Could come back down, retest the 8,100, 8,200 zone before breaking out. Obviously, if we break this white trend line here, then we're going to look at the more bearish case scenario. And that being, let me show you real quick the bearish targets here. Get this off of here, and we'll look from the swing low to the swing high. We'll put the Fibonacci retracement on there. And as you can see, we've gotten bounces off the golden pocket zone. That's where we're bounced off now. If we were to continue and reverse here, go back down. And the reason being I said we could get rejected is here at this 92.50. And if that happens, We could be looking as low as the 78.6, which is about the 5400 zone. That would be my worst case scenario, guys. That's the 0.786 retracement. So that is where we retraced back here. So let's just keep an eye on it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We do daily updates every single day. Also, tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash the likes, guys. That helps out more than you know. Just hit the like button and leave your comment down below. That'll also get you entered to win a free t-shirt. If you want to check out the t-shirts, go down in the description below the video, inkyyourimage.com, which is my wife's webpage. You can check it out, but you'll be able to pick one of the t-shirts. And Sunday I'll be drawing from the free, or for the free t-shirt from the comments. So make sure you leave a comment. Anyways, so as you can see, volume still declining in the weekly while in this, and we have not had a breakout volume yet. Keep in mind, we're not finished with the week, so we'll see what happens there. But this is not confirming a breakout if you ask me right now. Not to say that won't change. Also, I want to look at the RSI, guys. This is pretty interesting. If you haven't seen it already, I have this red line drawn here, which has been support and resistance. Back in 2013, you can't see it on here. This is COINBASE, but we capitulated down underneath it, broke back above it, tested it for support, and continued on to our bull run in 2017. 2018, we capitulated below it again, broke back through it in 19. We had our run all the way up to 13.8, came back down, retested it, and now we are moving on up. I do have this falling channel in here in the RSI we have broken out of, so that is bullish, but it doesn't mean we can't come back down and retest this before continuing up. Now let's look at, and I've said it before, I do believe the bottom's in, even though we do still have this $54 target down here. But let's look at the daily, and I have some targets in here too. Then we'll go into the 4-hour and look at the more immediate time frames. As you can see, I had this rising wedge drawn in here. We did peak out of it. We've had 2 wicks outside of it, so I am not 100% confident that this is, you know, we could have a trend line somewhere from this area across, and we could be making like an inverse head and shoulders here. Could come all the way back down to $8,100 range and back up and retest it. Note, that's why I do daily updates. Try to keep you updated on what I'm seeing, but as of right now, that's where I'm at with it. I just am still looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, and a break and a continuation up from there, guys, gets me that target of 10,000, around $10,400, $10,500 range, depending on if we break up and where right here. And if we break down, that'll get us more down towards that lower target area of 5,400 if we break through the bottom of this. But we'd have to break, obviously, the low over here of 64, around 64.20 area. But like I said, I do think we've bottomed. This here, I think, was a stop hunt. For anyone that was long here, they would have had their stops just below it. This went just below it, picked them all up, and then continued up from there. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Remember, this is my opinion, not yours. We also have this support and resistance line here at 76.83. And we had hit our target twice up here at the 8,900 range. We had that target there for quite some time. And what I did to get that was from that red trend line, which would be a neckline of right here, the resistance, and I drew it to the bottom of the wick and up, and that's what got us that 8,900 range. So that's where I got that from. Let's go into the more immediate time frames right after we look at the RSI. So looking at the RSI, we do have room for another push up. And in the 4-hour, like I said, I have some targets. This is kind of, it depends on when you move these. If you shrink it down, they don't line up. But as of right now, if I zoom in, we have not quite touched the top if I go off of these wicks. So we could have one more little push up. If we do break up out of this in the daily, that will be a major run up in my opinion. Let's look at the 4-hour. And I'll show you my more immediate targets. Zoom in here a little bit. We'll get on the RSI here in a minute. Oh, one more thing. Let's take a look at all the EMAs. I almost forgot. Wanted to point this out. The EMAs have all turned up here, and if you guys watch my channel, you know I really keep a close eye on the EMAs. On the weekly here, we had the 8 EMA come down below the 55, broke back up. Now they're turning up bullish. And if we look on the daily, same thing, super bullish looking, guys. If they continue to trend this way, we've had the 8 cross the 200. Right now the 13's crossing the 200. That's pretty damn bullish. We'll see what happens here today. It'll be a big deal. I think we'll be able to tell more of what's going on. But if you look at the EMAs here, guys, that looks really, really, really bullish. Not to say we can't come down and them turn around, but it does look bullish right now. All right, so if we look at this, I'm kind of mixed on how I'm looking at this. Could be a bull flag here, and if we did just a measured move of it as a ascending triangle and just the triangle itself, that would get us up to, and mind you guys, we have to break that 89, around 89.10, somewhere in that area, to start looking at this. But my bearish case is that this is a rising wedge here, and those are most of the time a bearish sign. The other target up here I have at 96 would be measuring this as a flagpole, and this being a flag, and that would get us up to the 96.37 range. Keep in mind, if that's what this is right here, we could be in here for a while, you know, just bouncing around in here until it decides to break, whichever way it decides to break. But I am showing you where I'm watching, and it's around the 8900. If that breaks, I believe we're most likely headed up to, well, we had this target back here at the 9176. So in between 9176 and 9350 would be my first target, and then see what happens after there. If we do break up out of this, we may come back down, test it for support, and go. But remember, most of the time, these rising wedges are bearish. So we are going to take a look at the bearish case scenario also. But I do want to zoom in. I'll show you this top trend line here. Our resistance line, we have broken out of it in the 4-hour here. Zoom up. As you can see, we've been playing on this line for a while. We are getting support on it right now. So most likely we come up and at least test this 8900 area. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, that's what I'm looking for. Let's look at the bearish case. So if we did the same measured move on this ascending triangle, and if we were to break down, depending on where we break down, guys, but that'd be around the 82 to 8300 range, somewhere in there. Like I said, it all depends on if and when we break that bottom trend line here. And that would break us out of the bottom of the wedge. So my measured move there is the widest point of the wedge to where we would break down, depending on where we break down, guys, obviously. If we broke down way over here in this range, stayed up here for a while, then broke down out of this triangle, that'd be around the 72.75. If we go back over to the daily and look at our Fibonacci retracement, that 72.22, 72.30 area is the 0.618, and the 0.65 is the point, is right at about 6,900. So we know that that is a major area of support. If that was to break, like I said, that's when we look at the 4,500. But so looking at that, if we came down and touched that, if you look at this bottom line off of these 2 wicks here, this looks like a broadening, widening wedge here. We're getting a nice little push up while I'm making the video. We'll see what happens. But anyways, so that would be my measured move of the breakdown there. If we broke down more over here in this area sooner, it'd be around the $7,100 range. And I would look for support here around the between 71 and 7,200 to bounce back up if we do get down there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. And if this ends up being a wedge, a falling wedge, and we break down from this area, the measured move of that would be right here. You measure the widest point of the wedge to where it broke down. That'd be around the 5,500, which also would get us to, you know, right around that 0.786 Fibonacci. I'm going to get this target off of here for now. But that's what I'm looking at with Bitcoin right now. If we look at the RSI, We are in a rising wedge here in the RSI. As you can see, we've had 3 tops in the RSI here, and then the price action was here, here, and here. Each one was higher. In the RSI, they were straight across, so it's kind of bearish divergence, but yeah, this is Bitcoin. So looks like we could come up and test the top of this rising red channel again, which would also be the top of this rising wedge, and then come down from there. But we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, tick notification bell, all that good stuff. If this bottom line breaks, if we turn here and this bottom line breaks on the 4-hour RSI and we close a 4-hour below it, then I think we continue all the way down to retest the bottom of this channel. Let's go into Litecoin. Litecoin, we'll start out with the daily. Excuse me, guys. Start out with the daily. Look at Litecoin. We had this rising wedge type pattern here, which we broke out of, came back down, tested for support, and have gotten a bounce. Now the measured move, I thought I had it on here. Maybe I don't. Let me draw another one in there real quick. My apologies. But if we drew a line on the wedge from where we broke up and out, the measured move of that is around the $67, $68 range, right in there. Let me move that down. Let me put it at 67. That looks good. So that is where the measured move for that is, right around the 67, actually a little bit lower, about 66, 60 area is where that target is. Let me put a little channel in there so we can keep an eye on that. All right. And the next measured move I have off there, let me get this line out of here, would be looking at this as a falling wedge, which we have broken out of, if indeed that's what that is. And that gets us up to about the 78.63. If we look at the RSI here, guys, we had a rising channel. Seems that we've broken out of it. Testing it for support now on the daily. Do we drop down below or get a bounce here? Keep an eye on that, because we were in a falling channel here that we broke out of. And you can see the formation of the broadening wedge, which we've broken out of and are testing for support right now. Let's go into the 4-hour. Take a look at the more immediate price action. All right, here's the 4-hour, and I'll show you my targets and how I got them. Straighten some of these out. Whoops. All right, so looking at, first off, we have our 66.60 target there. I have some other targets too. But if we took a look at this as a flagpole right here, and this being a bull flag forming there, if we were to break up and out of that, depending on where we break it, guys, you know, we could break it over here, over there, depending on where and when, that's going to get us up around between that $66 and $68 range. Now let's take a look at this as a broadening wedge here. As you can see, the yellow lines are green. Not sure, I'm colorblind, as you guys know if you do watch the channel. But anyway, that break gets us up to that 6,600. And if we come back down and test this for support, that's going to be around the 54.50 range. If that breaks, then we'd be looking to go retest this trend line at 49.60. Let's also do a measured move of this here right off of the neckline there and bring that up and see where that gets us. That would get us to the $63 range, which is confluent with this resistance over here. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, things are looking pretty bullish here. And if I pull up the EMAs on Litecoin and the volume, obviously we had a nice volume spike there. May get another one here, but the volume is, the EMAs are looking pretty damn bullish. We are getting support back on top of the EMA, or the AEMA over here. Let's look at the daily EMAs. I didn't take a look at that. Things are looking pretty bullish though, but keep an eye on these zones. We are getting rejected on the daily at the 200 EMA, but the EMAs are bullish here. They have crossed over the 55 EMA, so everything is still looking pretty bullish. But keep in mind the lower targets and what areas we just looked at. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Definitely don't forget to click the CryptoSavy logo by my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes. If you guys are interested in trading, I have a couple links down there below. I have a Bybit and a Prime XBT. Both of them you get a bonus for signing up with. Definitely check them out if you're interested. I don't suggest high leverage, and I don't suggest putting in more than you're willing to lose while you're learning to trade. But anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to leave your comment for the free t-shirt, and I'm out.